Okay, what's up, guys? We're back. Elijah, I know you got some stuff you want to talk about. I got some stuff I want to talk about. First, we're going to start it off with a little joke video here. Um, so, I'm sure that many of you have seen this video already, but just a throwback to the Kendrick stuff we was talking about. Here's a video of Drake for you guys to watch. So what exactly you're seeing here is Drake, and the man apparently had a drone pull up on him up at his house, at his penthouse. But allegedly, I'm not sure how true this is yet, but allegedly the drone was playing music. It was playing Not Like Us, like through its speaker. So it's pretty funny to think about that. But he come out there with his shoe sitting there about to throw at it. But I thought that was pretty funny. What you think, Elijah? You think it really was? You think it really was playing Not Like Us, or do you think it's some like super fan trying to stalk them, or what you think?
It's got to be like one of the worst promotional stunts I've ever seen, considering how badly he missed with the little flip flop, whatever he threw at him.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, he reposted on his Instagram with like following posts. So it's definitely a promotional slide. Nothing to really take serious here. It's an obvious joke, as we've already stated.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious as to what you thought about it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hide this screen here for a second as we go into your topic. So what all do you have for us today?
Well, now that we've kind of gotten up in the air a little bit, let's been talking about what's really been coming down from the air to the ground. So, as we know, this year, in my nice, pretty notes, I've written down that we have had so far in February 2025, the day's date is the 19th. We've had at least, I think, 87 recorded aviation incidents. So, obviously, y'all remember the American Airlines flight with 5342 and a military helicopter. So I think what happened was the plane had just taken off, I'm pretty sure. And for whatever reason, the military helicopter didn't notice that the plane was in its airspace, and I guess the flight control at Ronald Reagan Airport didn't detect that there was a helicopter in the way, and I guess the helicopter thought it had cleared the plane, but didn't realize another one had taken off. And then, unfortunately, as you could see through multiple videos throughout social media, they just collided midair. Very sad to see the plane and the helicopter immediately fell into the Potomac River, and we end up having 7 deaths occur in there, and that's just very unfortunate and disheartening to hear and see.
So all of these have they been happening just like chronological order, just one after another all this year, you said? Or is this from the past couple years, or just this year alone?
This is all data and statistics just from start of January 1st, 2025 until today's date, February 19th, 2025.
Okay. So I'm curious to know how many crashed last year, and if we're going up on
We'll be getting to that in a hot second. I'm going to go through all the crashes that we've seen so far.
Okay.
And then we'll slowly layer into that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, that there was a pretty horrific incident. I mean, 67 lives lost. Rest in peace to those people, and heart goes out to those families. So, next, we have a medical jet. It was like a little smaller flight. I think there was somebody that was like transferred from the hospital, like a young child, a mother, and then a crew. And then this plane was flying. I can't remember where they were going, where they were landing towards, but they ended up crashing near a Philadelphia mall in the middle of a street. And the crash was so bad that it ends up killing somebody in the car that was like, unfortunately waiting on like a stoplight, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the fire set like houses, apartment complexes, wherever buildings, just they all set, like majority of them set on fire that was in that radius.
Yeah.
So, what was your thoughts on when you heard that for the first time?
Well, it's pretty interesting to actually hear that because there is a lot of different crashes that I've been seeing, and it seems like it's getting more and more like traction than regular. But I did know I just saw a Delta flight that I found video for February 17th, 2025. And let me pull it up on my screen real quick. And I will show the audience here. This right here was from the Delta flight you was talking about. This like shows their evacuation and all.
Come on!
So here you can literally see the plane, like the whole wing, it's overturned. It's all completely messed up. Do you have a count as to how many people have died in these crashes?
Well, in this crash in particular, a good thing happened. All survivors. Okay. Unfortunately, people were going to be injured regardless, so only 21 were sent to a hospital for minor to major injuries, obviously wherever concussions, hurt, whatever limbs, things of that nature. In this case, in this plane, this is a Delta Airlines flight, as you've already mentioned, turned, it kind of, somehow it went in I don't know if it was bad turbulence or what was going on, but the plane just flips upside down, kind of, catches fire, and then they're kind of already in the snow, they're heading to Canada, and they just kind of crash landed near an airport, what's called Toronto Pearson International Airport. Yeah. And like you said, this happened just a couple of days ago. So in this incident, it was just very frantic how that happened so quickly.
Okay.
And then another plane crash. Now this happened a little bit earlier. We're kind of going back in time. An Alaskan flight that was carrying, I think, 10 people, for whatever reason, lost speed and was at high altitude, and they ended up crash landing, and everybody on there unfortunately passed away. And then there was another flight, 2 private jets at an Arizona airport about a week and a half ago, crashes. They just go straight into each other, very similar.
So are the main amount of these flights private flights, like private airline flights, or are they like actual main, like big, like Boeing flights, like commercial flights that I could go out and buy a ticket for right now?
So far as I'm seeing right now, majority of these flights actually have been private. In fact, another today, yes, in Arizona again, not the one that I just reported, where somebody, at the Scottsdale airport, another one at like a different airport, I'm forgetting the name, had crashed, and it was like 2 people. So it was a small jet that happened. So it does appear to me that majority of these flights are private airplanes and different things like that. The major, I think, commercial airlines that we heard was the Potomac River incident and the one that you have on screen, the Canadian one.
Do we know why these 2 commercial planes crashed in particular?
As far as crashing, we don't really have an answer, and that will go to obviously the next topic and what's causing these plane crashes. So now,
before we move on, before we move on real quick, so what I'm hearing is it's mainly a bunch of private flights that are crashing. There is a couple, like incidents happening with our bigger commercial flights. But do you think, going into why these planes are crashing, do you think it's just due to poor maintenance under private flights, or do you think that there's like incompetence going on? Do you think anything like that?
I think if anything, this is going to come down to incompetence, because generally speaking, let's be honest, when you're in a commercial flight, you could have somewhere from 80, like people in Canada, to literally 200-something people on a flight. And there, I think you clearly want somebody with experience flying that kind of of a plane because that's
Yeah.
a lot of bodies up in the air moving at like 600 miles an hour. But as we can see, a lot of these flights are, small. We're hearing just like a local amount of people, either unfortunately being injured or passing away. So I think right now the emphasis is that these private jets are not having experienced flights or people that are necessarily taking their job serious. And probably there could be some mandated kind of, yearly testing, yearly flight simulation to make sure you still know your stuff even after you pass flight school. But to me, it just seems like it's a lot of just incompetence going on with the smaller jet.
Does the FFA or whoever's in charge of it, do they do like license checks? Do we know that? Do they do like these tests? Like, how you take you have to renew your driver's license. You have to go up every so often, renew them, and then sometimes they'll make you retake a driver's test, something like that. Do you know if they do these for for flights? Do you know if any airlines require them to complete training or anything like that?
I haven't researched that part. I'd have to imagine they're obviously doing that. There's no way you're expecting someone to go up in the air, thousands of feet up in the air. I couldn't imagine that they're just letting random pilots, getting on these planes. So I could imagine there's definitely some kind of time range where they have to retest or renew their license, possibly really go through, a knowledge test.
Okay.
Go through.
So you're saying there probably is, but you don't know for certain.
Eye test stuff like that. I couldn't imagine that they're not doing that.
Well, let's get into why these flights are happening. Do you have any idea? Have you in your research? Have you found anything so far?
This is insane. These people still haven't came up with any solutions or reasoning to why. So at this point in time, it's anyone's guess.
Okay.
And I have listed weather in this photo. You can kind of see that ground doesn't look like there's a lot of grass up there. It looks kind of icy.
Yeah, so in the video we just watched.
Cold weather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Another thing that could be happening is land formation. So what I mean by that is different terrains. People are flying, like the Alaskan flight in particular. When I was reading up on, Alaska has a lot of mountains, a lot of snow, rough ground, low visibility at times. Sun doesn't really hit there often a lot. So that could definitely play a factor in there. Of course, you brought this up, mechanical errors. That's obviously, engine combustion, engine failure, engine catches fire. Maybe they're not even filling up the planes to full, degree. We mentioned this earlier about competence. Lack of flight experience could definitely be an issue for training. A lot of variables can be at play. They haven't really pinpointed a definite answer on majority of these flights because there's so many that they're reporting. But those are definitely a lot of factors that are going into these scenarios when you look at the results.
Okay, so just on a quick search here that I just looked up. So there are approximately 5 plane crashes a day, but this statistic includes general aviation with commercial planes very rarely crashing. If we look at the number total, there are 0.028 commercial planes that crash a day. So, it's a small number.
Almost literally none.
It says in 2018, the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board investigated 1,581 aviation accidents and incidents, resulting in 847 fatalities and 768 injuries. Private planes crashes have been on the decline since the 1980s, but user error and insufficient training still contribute to many more accidents than are necessary each year.
Yeah, we kind of went over that part, so that's definitely was a factor.
Yeah.
Incompetence.
So what we're learning here is it's mainly due to insufficient training and less than like maintenance issues. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because I find
here's my last point, and I was wanting to hear your thoughts on this first. is there fear mongering going on with the airplane incident so far this year?
Now, I haven't paid much attention to your major news networks here recently because, in these major news networks, they tend to go over the top, stuff like that. I'm watching stuff like the Daily Wire. I'm listening to Andrew Clavin. So I'm not hearing as much about that as more of the political realm of things going on. But I have seen an increase on like general social media and stuff of these plane crashes and stuff going on. And, obviously you're talking about it. Evidently you've seen a good little bit of it. I think algorithms have a lot to do with it. The type of different things you're looking at, stuff like that will pop up. But I do feel that they do use any tragedy to their advantage to kind of fearmonger and put, these incidents to the point. They want to make it where they're talking about, oh, well, this airline has come out and said that it is very safe to travel, these airlines, this particular airline, and they'll call out particular airlines for different things that might be going wrong and stuff. Even though there might be more important things going on, they're going to cover stuff like this. And it really is a tragedy what's going on, and they're not putting the blame on anything. But I feel like they're going through this big elaborate stories. They're showing the videos and the pictures of these plane crashes, but not backing it up with any like safety type things going on. All I'm mainly seeing is these crashes, and then right there at the end of their news special on these planes that are crashing, after they get done talking about it for 10 minutes of these people are dead, the people are dying, planes are crashing, oh my gosh, it's the end, stuff like that. They finally get done with all that. Then for a solid 30 seconds they'll go, oh, but it's fine. The airlines say plane travel is perfectly fine. It's all good. Commercial flights are fine. But it's the whole fact of that whole entire first 30-minute section there that they continue to fearmonger. I mean, they're putting in these bizarre images that are being enhanced. They're making it look worse than it is. They're putting all this up just for a 30-second. I mean, if you need to catch a flight, which there's a crap ton of people in America who fly it almost every day, trying to, get from place to place. There's important business people. They've got to go across seas in major time, like a lot of times, and a lot of these planes don't don't crash. But as I said from that search earlier, that's a lot of plane crashes a day, and I feel like if it's mainly due to incompetence, I feel we need to start doing better on this. I feel that maybe the FFA needs to put their foot in the door, but as we read, it was only 0.0028. What was that number I said earlier? Does that sound about right?
0.248, something really low.
Or commercial flights. So, I mean, how many commercial flights in total did you say you had looked up in a year had crashed?
In a full year?
Yeah.
I didn't look up too much. I did see that last year, in fact. Now, speaking of last year, they said there's like 1,800 incidents in the U.S.
Yeah, I think that's what it said on the thing. Yeah, but I was talking about commercial flights.
Oh, commercial? They didn't break it down too specific. They said a big number. It could have been all of them.
Let me look it up real quick. So there's 45,000 flights commercially every day. Is what I just read, right? That are flying, not crashing. If there are 45,000 planes crashing every day, nobody would be flying. But so there are 38 commercial aviation accidents that occur worldwide, with only handfuls involving fatalities. So I mean, 45,000, only 38 of them are, having like accidents per year. That's not bad. So I mean, they do kind of tend to bring stuff, blown out of proportion. and then other companies are, other companies aren't. What it is a failure to provide good news. So they take something that, they know they can blow out of proportion and fearmonger, and they display it that way. They'll have people, they'll have eyeballs watching it. They can start a little controversy over it. But that's news. That's the business. That's what people do. Controversy sells.
Yeah, I was about to say, got to do it sells, man.
Yeah. And it's not right all the time, because they're not going to talk about the 38 commercial flights that crash. What they're going to do is they're going to say this. They're going to say there are 1,800 and something flights that crash every year. Now, the airlines are saying that it's fine to fly and stuff like that. They might mention that they're private, but they're not going to mention that they're private. They're not going to say, hey, only 38 of these 1,800 flights are commercial. They're not, they're not going to say that, the other 1,700, how many is
62, basically.
Yeah, is freaking private flights. So they're going to use stuff like that. Yeah, they're going to use stuff like that to fearmonger and say, oh, the airlines are saying that these flights are fine. You can hop on them, But in reality, what they're doing is they're trying to hurt, They're not individually trying to hurt the airlines, but they are trying to fearmonger and get those views. I feel like I rambled on there for a little while. But.
Oh, no, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like you said, you kind of about stole all the words out of my mouth. The only thing I could see about the fear-mongering, man, can't get my words out, going on is that last year, 2024, around the same time period, 93 incidents. This year, 87. So there was even more last year than there was this year. So why aren't we talking about it more if it's such an issue? And then my real thing is that when you look at it, I think there have been 85 deaths so far this year, which is a little bit higher than normal. I'm not trying to say that these lives don't count, but I literally mentioned earlier, 67 of those deaths came from one flight, where the helicopter, the military helicopter, and the American Airlines flight crashed in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I'm
not saying those lives didn't matter, but a big percentage of death came from there. Other than that, that's still, 18 lives that definitely, cut short for sure.
Yeah.
That's still 18 lives when you're comparing that to thousands of flights that we're going to see this year go through the air. And it hasn't been like crazy amount of death. It hasn't been like everybody on all these flights have died totally.
Well, it's like there's more people who die by car crashes every day. I can tell you that without even having to looking up, without even having to do the research on that.
So do we just stop driving because everybody crashes in the car? No, you just take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I can say this. I can say there are, throwing out a random number, there are 32,000 car deaths every year. And, that's displayed. That might be displayed throughout the country. That might be displayed worldwide. I don't know, but they'll take something. Let's say this. You're living in South Carolina. Let's say that there are let's say 9,000 automotive deaths every year, and in your current county, let's say you're in Greensboro.
That's not even in South Carolina.
Well, fine. Let's say freaking you're in Chester County. That's in South Carolina. That's in South Carolina.
I've never been there, bro.
But I know. I'm using this as an example, not you're there. But but let's say Chester County has 132, automotive incidents. Let's say they're really good. Let's say they're on the lower end of the spectrum. Well, you think the news is gonna report, we're doing, there's this many automotive crashes in a year, here in Chester County. Let's say this is a local news station. They're not gonna say, and in Chester County, we're on the lower end of the spectrum, but we need to, still be aware of what's going on. We need to drive safely. No, they're not gonna say that. What they're gonna say is, there's this many deaths every year. We need to sit down. We need to figure out how we need to start doing better. Is this a problem with the police? Are the police the issue here? Are they not patrolling like they're supposed to? Do we need to cut down on the highways? The speed's running rampant. People are crashing and dying all the time. You know, they're going to say stuff like that. That is, you know, going to really pop. It's going to make people fearmonger. But some of these more local stations, see, they can't really afford as much as, like, let's say Fox or, you know, some other major news networks. Most time, if you're watching them, sometimes they'll have like 15 people up on the screen, all talking at the same time, arguing back and forth, screaming at each other, you know, talking about it. And they use that as a tactic to, you know, have people not think as much into it, but get people angry at other, you know, anchors and at each other, so that they're not really thinking into all the stuff that's going on. They're just thinking, hey, there all these car crashes, all these people. And what happens is there's one guy in there who will bring up, oh, the immigrants, it's the immigrants' fault. It's all these people coming in from all these other countries who don't know how to drive, and they're driving our roads, and it's causing more wrecks. You know, that is, you know, that's a topic. Yeah, we could, you know, we can bring that in. That is something that we could discuss. But they're bringing it in not for a discussion, not for anything, you know, to add to the conversation, but to add more controversy to their statements. So they're fear-mongering. Yeah, and they're fear-mongering instead of saying, hey, you know, immigrants are coming over, they don't know how to drive, they're getting on the roads. Instead of saying that, they're just going to make you, they're trying their best to make the public not like immigrants. Or they're going to try their best to make, you know, everything not their fault. They're going to try to make everything like pin each other on everybody, instead of saying, hey, this is everybody's fault. We need to sit down and focus on fixing this. Instead, they want to pin any incident that happens. They want to pin anything on anything straight to one person, one party, or, you know, a branch of companies. It's like with the plane flights. Let's say you have 15 Delta crashes, you have 3 Alaskan crashes, and 1, let's say like Saudi Arabian plane crash, you know.
Yeah.
They're going to only focus on Delta. They're going to sit there, they're going to say, hey, Delta, what are you doing? You know, these plane crashes are horrible. There's been this many plane crashes this year. What are you going to do to fix it? And everybody's going to be mad at Delta. When they had 15 plane crashes, yeah, they had the most, so they're going to be the ones most targeted. Which makes sense, but at the same time, you know, there needs to be all airlines as a whole under that conversation.
Well, with that out the way, last thoughts until we move into our next subject?
No, I think I'm ready. Moving on to the speaking of aviation, I wanted to bring up a man named Sky King. So I want to go ahead. Do what?
Sounds like a gamer tag.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But otherwise known as Bebo. Now.
Okay, that's definitely a gamer tag.
Now Bebo, he I want to go ahead and put in a disclaimer. You know, some of this is gonna get a little dark. It's gonna be you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and say if you're having any thoughts of suicide or anything like that, you know, you might not want to watch this, but it's not gonna get to the point where I think it would harm you. But just as a warning, you know, you might not want to watch this because the ending is a little dark, but it is motivational. It is a little uplifting. So I will show you this. He found his peace, for sure, I'll tell you that. But I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to pull up my screen. This is going to give you a little bit of background information on this here. So, this right here is coming straight from a news clip. It's off TikTok. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you.
And 2018, Richard Russell, also known as Bebo, clocked into work at SeaTac Airport at 2:36 p.m.
Oh, crap.
You see him here briefly showing his badge to
I messed it up, Elijah. Hold on.
TSA.
I forgot that.
He walks through the briefly showing his... It was August 10th, 2018. Richard Russell, also known as Bebo, clocked into work at SeaTac Airport at 2:36 p.m. You see him here briefly showing his badge to TSA. He walks through the employee security checkpoint. He's wearing a black t-shirt that says "The sky's no limit." He grabs his backpack and continues. After this moment, 5 hours go by, according to the FBI report. It's unclear what he was doing for this time. Around 7:15 p.m., he arrived with a tow vehicle at the cargo area at the far north end of SeaTac, known as Cargo 1. Air traffic control started to sense something was not right when trying to make contact.
The Dash 8 on runway 16 center, say your call sign.
That's Russell on the left side of your screen in the tow vehicle. He's got complete control over the aircraft. You can see him release the plane from the vehicle, and the plane starts rolling forward. He really only has a few seconds to start running towards the door of the plane. Watch him as he opens the cabin door and jumps in. He pulls the door back up very quickly.
Seattle ground, Horizon guy, about to take off. It's going to be crazy.
More pilots started to chime in, and then it became clear something was definitely wrong.
Sorry, you need to call and scramble now.
Russell can be seen taking off in this new video. Several angles show the Horizon airplane leaving ground.
There's an emergency situation going on, and FAA Tower is not accepting any aircraft right now, not letting anybody depart.
While up in the air, Russell continued to radio in.
Hey, I found myself in a bit of a predicament. I'm in the air right now, and just kind of...
I think I've heard about this before.
At one point, he said he was going to check out Mount Rainier. Down below, all aircraft held from taking off.
It's kind of freezing everybody at the moment.
An hour and 13 minutes after taking off, Russell crashed the plane on a remote Pierce County island, ending one of the most serious domestic airline security breaches since 9/11. The FBI ruled his death a suicide.
Okay, so that right there is like part one to this. I just wanted to show you that for some background. But you know, you saw the big blaze of fire and stuff like that in the darkness. You know, but this right here didn't really explain the whole story. This right here was more of just like an outline of it. But what I want to showcase to you is actually his flight. So this guy, you know, you would obviously... What's your first takes on this? What Elijah, what do you think would be, you know, your first main big thing going on here, whenever you think?
My first thing, I already got questions. First of all, if he entered airport security, you know, they keep documents on who enters those gates and who gets on the flight.
Yes.
And who departs and enters. He was missing for 5 hours. Where were y'all at looking and not noticing that somebody purchased a ticket or at least forced their way in?
Hold on, before you can... He works there.
He works there?
He works there, yes. He is a worker for that.
So he's off duty?
Yeah, so he clocked in, he clocked in for that day, and then went missing for 5 hours. He just like sit in his room or something for about 5 hours. Didn't do anything.
So they didn't even bother tracking any of that. They didn't bother checking.
Well, I mean, they're probably not checking him all the time. He looked like he was a baggage clerk or something. I'd have to look up his actual...
But still, you have to be in some kind of uniform to be on the job.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was. He come in, he clocked in, and then, like, you'll see him whenever he leaves, he has his orange vest on. So that's why I said I think he's either baggage or he might be somebody who works on the tarmac. But if he knows how to drive that machine and operate it like that and how the plane's going to roll... He's probably something to do with moving those planes, would be my guess, because he moved that like whole front of the plane like it wasn't, you know, like it was something he knew how to do. So I might be wrong, but I think, you know, planes backing up, moving around, you know, that's a lot of crap. So I think what they do is they lift up the plane with those machines and will kind of turn them like this to park them. You know how like all your semis are parked there in a row and stuff? The planes are parked similarly to that. And then also it's kind of a hassle. It'd be kind of a hassle to fly a plane in and out of a hangar, you know, to get it to roll through. So I think they use those machines as well to put them in and out of the hangars, but I'm not sure.
Alright, well, you got part two.
Okay, so before we... do you have anything else? Any other questions?
Other than that, that's just an insane idea that you don't know how to land the plane. You hop in. He even had the somehow enough
Yeah.
sense to still radio
Well, see-
the air traffic control.
Well, see, you have all these questions, right, just by watching that. And this goes into the news clip, into the news as, because this right here would be pretty much a story. Wouldn't you agree on news? This right here is just like, that would be about the whole story. Is, hey, this guy, because literally that was right there would have been the end of the story. It would have been, hey, this dude stole a plane, got in a plane, flew it around the mountains, and then crashed. That's the only thing they said for the story. This is what I want to show you. So, just to close this one out. This right here is some of the quotes and all he said from out here. So, I'll go ahead and play this for you.
I'm in the air right now and just kind of soaring around. 449, are you not supposed to be on that aircraft? Yeah. I did a kind of a bad thing, kind of a selfish thing. But it's all good. I'm gonna go check out Rainier. Yeah, 449.
Rainier is the
hijacked plane,
mountains,
is
by
what
the
you're
way.
saying?
Yeah, that's the mountain that they
I'm
crashed
afraid
in.
it is.
What the hell? Holy shit. Oh my god. The fucking Alaska Airlines Q400. What the fuck is he doing over here?
Any idea if a Dash 8 Q400 can do a barrel roll?
Just flying the plane around, do you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so
I literally brought a GTA, and here he goes with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, everything's peachy.
What the-
Peachy clean. Just did a little circle around right here. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Well, if you can see the Olympics, the weather's good. I can see the Olympics through my window, and it looks pretty good over there.
Alright, because I hit felt like turbulence around right here, but there's no clouds hardly.
Oh, that's just the wind blowing over all the bumpy surfaces there.
Oh, copy that. Man, have you been to the Olympics? These guys are gorgeous. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I have been out there. It's always a nice drive.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me. Damn it, Andrew. People's lives are at stake here.
Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
Nah, I just told you, I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
Hey, Rich, this is Captain Bill here. We're still listening. My airplane's doing just fine. How's yours?
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to
So
apologize.
you already know at this point he's gonna die. He had no intentions on living
Yeah.
through this either.
Just that broken
And you'll see
guy.
some more here in a second. Like, you see he's talking right
I
now.
guess never really knew it till now.
So you can,
Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip thing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to use the autopilot first.
If you were to do it, how would you do it? Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Labs will give me a job as a pilot?
I think they would give you a job doing anything if you could pull this off.
Yeah, right.
because this is a hard maneuver he's about to do here.
Like, in a safe kind of manner. I think I'm gonna try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, now I'm just gonna nose down and call it a night.
Damn.
Watch him do this.
Particular Rougher 1, the only one just completed a barrel roll. I just wanted to confirm he did a barrel roll. A berm cleared the surface of the water by approximately 10 feet. But Rock 2 from Rock 1, and the TOI 1 did a barrel roll and just barely missed hitting the water.
All right, Rich, this is Captain Bill. Congratulations. You did that. Now let's,
listen to this
let's try
part.
to land that airplane safely and not hurt anybody on the ground.
All right. Nah, damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it, you know? So long, I feel like one of my engines is going out or something.
That's his full name there. With his,
Bit of a predicament.
So basically, you know, that right there is something that happened. And the main big thing that went on there is, you know, he even said right there, he thought that was going to be the end. Whenever he did that barrel roll, he thought he was going to crash. He had no intentions of actually like landing that plane after he did the barrel roll. He wanted to die. I mean, but he wanted to go out on his own terms. He wanted to go out on, you know, something that he really wanted to do. I think he was just sitting in that office in that stupid little job, that stupid little probably 9-to-5 work job he had, just hating what was going on, not really happy. And this happened back in 2018. So he's
so about 6.5 years ago, because they said August, right?
Yeah.
So that's literally 6.5 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, he was just having a rough time, and there's a lot of people going on like that, and you know, you got to get help. You got to talk to somebody. You got to do stuff, and
oh yeah, because attention's a hell of a drug, and
yeah,
he was just looking for somebody to talk to, because to know that you're already planning on ending your life, because he's never deploying the wheels to try to even a fake land. He's just doing whatever stunts. You know, he said he wanted to do a barrel roll, backflip. He was asking different maneuvers, you know, how to fly. He even somehow managed to clear the water, they said, about 10 feet. You know, he was flying all over the place. People were recording this locally.
And
Flight control was trying to talk with him. You know, was that a warplane sent after him? Was that a second plane I saw?
Yeah, that was a probably a F-16. That was a fighter plane. Yeah, in case they were going to shoot him down. But I wanted to show you his. Is this it?
This is flight pattern.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which one is his actual flight pattern? But because I saw it earlier.
You should have saved it. Nah, ain't nothing different came up.
Yeah, because I think since then there's been a little bit more stuff. Yeah, I don't see it, but you can see in the videos of his flights, he had no intent. He even says in the video he had no intention whatsoever to hurt anybody. No intention. He obviously, you know, he was suicidal. He wanted to end it, but he didn't want to end it just any other way. He wanted to actually, you know, I feel like working in an airport, you see these planes every day. You know, you're working around these planes, and I feel he saw an opportunity. He's probably always wanted to fly one. He's probably rode on one multiple times and seen the beauty of, you know, riding in a plane and seeing that beautiful atmosphere out there. And he knew nobody was on that plane. He knew that. I mean, he works there, so he knew nobody was on that plane. He knew that was just a scheduled, you know, like little plane sitting there. I'm surprised nobody on radar or, you know, actually working there was like, hey, you know, why is he out there moving this airplane? What's going on? That should have something to go there. That should be said. And I'm sure since 2018 it's been addressed, but hopefully anyways. But, you know, a lot of people are calling them.
Stepbrother talking?
Do what?
This is a stepbrother talking?
Yeah. Let me finish up what I was saying here.
Okay.
So, obviously, you know, like I said, he wasn't in a great mental state. But a lot of people were talking to him, like this comment right here, depression is a beast. He sounded like he had found his peace being up there. And I think he did. You know, he found his peace in those clouds. He was happy. He saw that beautiful mountainside and everything else. And at the ending of it all, he went out with his bang. Or like this guy said here, he was confident, funny, and happy because it was all over. He was... I can't read.
Called it a day in his own way.
Yeah.
Top man.
He knew the end was close. He called it a day in his old way. Top man, R.I.P. Sky King. A lot of people relate to this guy. A lot of people relate to this guy. For better or for worse. You know, this guy, he's just an everyday dude. Everyday average guy who went out and he did something. He did something. It may not have been good. A lot of people, like I said earlier, he had no intentions to hurt anybody. And I wanted to bring this up because there's people out there saying, oh, this guy's a monster. He was trying to hurt people. He stole this plane, like comparing him. Because this is 2018. I mean, they're comparing him to a terrorist. Like the events back in 2001.
I'll say what he did is bad because you got to remember that's a lot of money, equipment you just literally burned up and destroyed.
Yeah.
His intentions were different.
Yeah.
By definition, though.
Well, his intentions was never to land that plane. He jokingly said that in there, but his intentions was never to land that plane.
He can still be landed as a danger to society, consider what he did.
Yeah.
But just the way the story ended up in and out, you know, the hindsight information that we've learned, we understand that he was suicidal and we were trying to crash to like a city or something.
And about the media fearmonger, they never once mentioned in that video that he was gonna that he was gonna, you know, not harm anybody or that he was gonna harm anybody. Instead, they showed this guy. They showed him stealing an airplane and they saw him crashing an airplane. That's all they saw. They don't know if he got shot down. Yeah, they didn't show none of that. All they said was there was this crazy guy who went and stole an airplane. They didn't mention nothing about his background. They didn't mention nothing about what was going on. And, you know, this right here could have been a story that was a teaching moment. They could have talked about, like we're doing, they could have talked about this guy being depressed. They could have talked. And I'm going to let his stepbrother real quick talk. You have any questions, anything so far, or are you all good?
Oh, no, it's a pretty short video.
Any comments?
If there's any questions, I'll probably have more after this.
Okay.
I didn't really know what had happened. So I was just trying to piece it all together. My sister told me what had happened. And I just remember I couldn't say anything. I couldn't speak. When I heard the audio transmission that was posted online, I was blown away. Really trying to connect what my sister had told me to his voice and his tone. It went from something that, okay, I knew that he was gone, I knew that something had happened, but why, to even more, but why? Because on that audio, his voice, he was confident, he was funny. He didn't seem scared at all. It just sounded like Bebo. The last time I saw him, I mean, it was Bebo. There was nothing out of the ordinary at all. Without him having any formal training, he had to learn this on his own. So that just kind of tells me that it's something that he's been thinking about for quite a while. And it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. Think about look for signs before that, but there really wasn't any. There was something, obviously, in his life that pushed him over that edge. But we've lost one hell of a guy. He's a great brother. Good to everybody. He's a great uncle. Very good to my daughters, my brother's kids, my sister's kids. I know he was a good husband. He loved her. Faithful, godly man. At first, I didn't really know.
But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I think it kind of highlights a little bit more, you know. But I don't know. What do you think after that? I need a second to recover.
it's just like his brother is just surprised people in the comment sections or people that heard that audio of the flight control or air traffic control speaking with him. He's just genuinely shocked because all he's saying is that he was confident during the flight. He was funny, you know. You can remember he was throwing in jokes. He said he was himself, which is actually something insane to think about because when people are suicidal, they don't act like themselves.
Well,
wait. But there's this pattern that they seem to be at their peak selves or how they would have acted towards, like, you know, a younger age, right before they just ended.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was genuinely happy with himself. There's probably a lot of other cases genuinely where people kind of highlight good memories or they try to make something good to ignore about all the damage that they're about to do. And he kind of definitely, he says that pretty clearly. You know, he had a good connection with his wife, you know, as far as, you know, they were good friends.
Yeah.
He has a good connection with, well, actually, that'd be his sister-in-law, right?
Well, no, he was married. Bebo was married. Yeah, he was married.
Well, I'm talking about to his stepbrother, though.
Yeah, to his stepbrother. Yeah. He said he was a good. Did he say uncle in that video?
Yeah, uncle as well. Because remember, he said he had kids, so I said, he was a good family guy.
Like he said, there was no signs of any of this. There was nothing. But as he said in the video, you know, to have that level of like training. Or to be able to fly that plane to get it off the ground without crashing it or going around like he was.
Until you intentionally did.
Yeah, you know, like he said, you know, that takes some planning. He knew this was happening, and it takes a while to get that level of stuff. And he even did that barrel roll without crashing it straight into the freaking, like, lake, which he was only 10 feet. He was hoping to end it there. I mean, he was hoping to end it there. He even said, you know, I really thought that was going to be the end, you know, and then, like, he didn't make it much longer. But they never shot him down. They didn't see him as a threat. They let him go about his thing. And, you know, to these companies, all that's insured. I know you said we were talking about money, but, you know, that plane was insured. They're going to get their money back on it. And, you know, that was a big deal. But at the end of the day, I think this guy got his freedom. And like you had brought up, some people are, you know, very, to bring it back, I think there's two kinds of depressed people who are suicidal. I think there's the people who would freak out. They would get to the point to where, you know, they're tired. They're done. They're crying all the time. They're sad. They don't really know what's all going on. They would, they're ready to go. And what happens is they wind up crying and sitting there and they'll cut their wrists open or, you know, do it in the bathroom. And they never really find that peace. But this guy here, he was the opposite. He was ready to die. He didn't want to live anymore. Evidently something was going on, whether it be with his family or something in his life, or he didn't feel complete or something was going on.
Yeah.
You know, he was more of the sense of, I'm ready to go out. I don't want to continue this. I don't want to continue down this road. But I don't want to do, you know, I'm not upset with life. I'm not tired of life. I'm just ready to end it. You know, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah,
that's how I feel like this dude was. And he wanted to find his peace before he left. I can tell you the number one thing he probably wanted to do is fly. He wanted to get an airplane fly, and that's what he did. It's like a bucket list. People have that bucket list they want to do before they die. And this right here must have been his whole entire bucket list. He planned it. He went up. He flew around those mountains. He saw these. I mean, I would have loved to have been able to see the views that he saw while he was flying.
Just not on that specific flight.
Yeah,
else.
Just not on that specific flight, you know. Maybe a parachute or something, but you know.
Yeah, something different. Not that shit. Hell no.
Yeah, but you know, but the thing about it is he would have been way closer than any like tourist flight or anything would show you. Anything like that, or the barrel roll thing. I mean, he was just living. But at the end of it all, you know, he definitely did something there. He definitely, for sure, he did something that he shouldn't have done. I mean, he should have come back. He should have landed that plane. But I think in the end of it, it was up to him. And he was he was a godly guy. That's what his brother said in the thing. He was a godly guy. And I just wish, that he could have been spoken to a little bit more, biblically. And maybe he would have changed his actions. But all in all, I think he went out happy. And I think that's the number one thing that matters there in that. But it is a little selfish what he did, because he did rob his family and everybody else of.
Robbed his family.
Yeah.
He even messed up people in that day in particular. Remember, they grounded all the flights coming in and leaving in that area while he was doing whatever he did. So,
granted, I don't think he cared that much about it, but in the video he did say, this is going to disappoint a lot of people. He said,
so he's acknowledging what he's doing is not really right at all.
He apologized for it, but I feel like he thought this was something
he had to do. It's not going to take it back, so clearly.
Yeah, I feel like this was something that he had to do. And I wanted to bring it up and all, because I knew he was talking about aviation. And, a lot of people can use this as, kind of like motivation almost. Not to do that, but, at the same time as motivation for life, he enjoyed himself. He was ready to go, and I think in the end, I'd want to somewhat be like him in the sense of how happy he was himself. He didn't break down and cry and just absolutely give up on everything. And I think he embodied how he wanted it to go. But I do want to say, if you need help, there's numbers. There's people you can call. There's services like BetterHelp out there and all kinds of different things like that where you can talk to people. You can go to you should never be afraid to be able to talk to somebody or go out to somebody. If you are afraid to talk to somebody, maybe they're not the right person you should be around. Maybe you should find a little bit better people, unless it's the fact of you're scared of hurting them. But anything that you would do that you're scared that, you might hurt them if you tell them, I guarantee you they're going to want to know about it. They're going to want to help you through it before it gets worse. Because you doing anything to yourself is going to hurt them way worse than you actually not telling them. And they might get mad at you. They might get sad at you. They might not understand. But, there's licensed people out there to help you. There's all kinds of people. Sometimes just calling up a buddy, and talking to them for a while. There's
even this being about 7 years ago, there was definitely still resources during that time frame. So it wasn't like there's nothing available to help.
Yeah, but all in all, you can even just pray to God and talk with God.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with Him.
You'd be surprised with things like meditations, eating healthier, having more goals, not bucket lists necessarily, but goals to kind of help you deviate from things like that.
Yeah.
Just being yourself.
I think a big part of it too is enjoy life. Don't have yourself sit down. Yeah. Don't be stuck in one thing and one thing only. Just sit down and
that's what I feel
learn to relax. Yeah.
But that's one thing I feel like people gotta understand too, is that some people that are depressed, like I feel like sometimes they don't they set a bar real low, or too high, and then can't achieve nothing, or just don't achieve nothing, and kind of undermine things a little bit, don't achieve enough, and then they kind of just sit there and just pencil down to, I'm nothing in this world, and different things like that.
Yeah.
But in reality, you just sometimes got to pick your head up, different things like that. Like right now, last couple of years have been rough for me. Been trying to keep my running dreams going on, been injured, different things like that. And that doesn't mean just suddenly one day I'm going to wake up, my sprint career could be possibly over because I got to get my hip check and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I should end it. Well, no, I should try to, strengthen myself back up, stay in high spirits, stay in contact with family, friends like you, continue to eat healthy, just continue to enjoy different things, focus on the schooling, and don't let one little situation just completely override my life and put me down into a spiral just because one thing isn't going my way.
Yeah.
Waking up in the morning, I'm talking, moving, breathing.
Yeah.
You know, I have sight.
Well, it's like you go for your runs in the mornings and stuff like that too. But we are going
like,
way
that's
over
probably
here.
my little goals. When you achieve something like that, you kind of erase something out of you clear your mind right there, and it can set a good mood. Even if I have a bad run, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna learn from what I did wrong and just improve the next day.
Yeah.
Or if I, head into a rest period, I take that rest to get stronger.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we are going way over here. We're like an hour into this, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. And as we said before, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody if you are going through stuff. But if you made it this far in, I want to say thank you. You're awesome. Hopefully, we entertained you.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people just don't got the attention span no more.
Yeah.
Ain't got the time.
Especially when we get to talking about boring crap sometimes, or we drag stuff out, But
you get into more real life topics that people try to ignore. A lot of people, like on TikTok, they want everything fast. They want everything in like 30 seconds or less. And some things just can't be rushed that quickly. They got to be drawn out because
we're all for it. And I think we're all.
If we tried to rush this, we wouldn't be nowhere.
Yeah.
But since we've kind of given ourselves room to speak and think, we're able to articulate our words and be able to really put what message we want out there and not have anything misinterpreted or abbreviated because we just want some clicks and views, just very fast. Yeah. We just want slow and steady growth here and just continue to prosper.
And don't take our whole entire video. Before I said, don't take our whole entire video and re-upload it. But you can take clips. You can take clips, post them on TikTok. You can take clips, post them on social media, talk about us. That's all good. Maybe we'll see it. Hopefully, we will see it. If you do, take it.
That'd be hilarious. I'd probably be laughing.
Yeah, but I hope all of you did enjoy. We are way over time here, so if you want to see more of us, go ahead, subscribe, and if you want to help us out like that, like the videos, stuff like that. So this is our
final conclusion of episode 2 for Better Days podcast. We're still learning this along with our viewers, so we'll find better ways. We'll find a rhythm, but we just being ourselves right now. That's all.
Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.